muted. Okay, now it's good. Now I managed to mute myself. Okay, welcome to another episode today. Welcome. I think we start exactly at 8:30 today, so just kind of make sure that you guys, if you're watching a rerun, do let me know because I feel like today it's gonna be a little bit chill. I felt like finally I kind of take charge and go back to full host. Like now I'm like officially full host for today's show. So if you have missed guests, do let me know whether you guys missed Imran or Renee on the previous 2 episodes. In fact, previous 4 episodes. But today I'm just gonna take charge on today's particular episode on having your own brand identity. Let me flash today's topic. Yep, so today we are talking about 3 ways to build online identity. It's slightly different from how you build your own branding per se, but I would say that it's more skewed towards online branding, online presence kind of thing. So we'll go a little bit deep dive because previously we actually asked for you guys to vote, and you guys have voted to be having this topic as the main core topic. And from there, we also discover what are the true issues of how you guys want to learn the 3 ways. And to make it simply, we are trying to use this 1 hour to really figure out exactly how we can create our own brand identity. But of course, I want to say hi to people who have comments. So hi Andromeda. Hello, welcome to the stream today. Managed to let you be on the stream today. I really appreciate. So if you're new here, if you're here before, if once you come in, just do say hi to me because that's how I can react to you guys. There's no way to see your faces, so the best way is to kind of give me an emoji, give me a comment, give me a reaction, so that I know you guys are up and loaded. So what I need you guys to do is to sit at one corner of your space. Make sure you're on earpiece because it's gonna be super dense. It's layman, but it's gonna be dense because it's gonna be case study. There's gonna be a lot of referrals, kind of a way of me introducing the 3 ways. And I think this thing has been flowing in a little bit. Wanted to kind of introduce why exactly this season 3 comes in. Why I wanted to do this whole thing, this whole live stream thing is really to help people. So this whole purpose of Let's Get Creative podcast live stream is really to get like-minded people to kind of chime in to help the businesses that are struggling, having their own brand identity issue, unable to convert from offline to online, and this is where is the right space for you to learn and be applied to your business immediately without any issues. Yeah, you can treat this as like a quick workshop, a quick fix, a station weekly to be there to help you, to serve you. So if you have any questions, if you're not sure, please feel free. If you're watching a rewatch, also do say hi in the comments because I do come in back and see who actually commented. So I don't want to miss people that watch the rewatch. Highly likely there's gonna be a lot of rewatches. But if you are here today and you are hearing me live, I would still love to see your reactions. Okay. So just keep it short and sweet before I go straight to it. Is in order for this to work, you guys will also participate. And once you participate, you'll be able to navigate with me because what my objective today is to help you create your brand identity, be it a rewatch or live. So if you have any questions, do feel free to ask because it does help to help me navigate with you during the Q&A for sure. Okay, so without further ado, intro. Okay, today my intro works because I think previously we had some issue with the intro, but today finally I got it working, so that's good. Okay, so I'll go straight to my slides today. Remove the clock. Okay, so today is 3 ways to build online brand identity. You have to treat this a little bit different from normal brand identity, partly also because I'm using more of a COVID situation to kind of share exactly where my standing on brand identity is. I'm using my own experience to share on it to kind of create your own brand identity. So the first way you should create your brand identity is to make long-lasting impression with your brand identity. And why? Okay, this is such a long first pointer, right? It's partly because your brand identity is an image. Okay, let me take out these slides. Yeah, it's an image, it's an illusion that you are trying to give. It might sound like I'm like scamming people. It's like, oh, it's an illusion, but it is sort of like a first impression. So you have to kind of make a long-lasting impression, and that means that from top to the bottom, that means where your customer or the stranger that first have the first point of contact with you, they need to feel your brand. Be it's not just about physical logo, it's not just about website, it's not about your graphics, but how you deliver yourself, how you service your customers. All these plays a part in branding, and a lot of people just focus on the tangible stuff, where actually the main thing that you can retain, even vendors, maintain customers is actually through your service, how they experience you through the whole process. Like if they hire you for something, could they get you instantly? Could they get a reply instantly? Do they need to wait very long for certain things to be done? What kind of style is it working with you? Are they comfortable with it? And all this plays a part. And I feel that at this moment in time, a lot of people are just uh, showing the bare minimum of service, and they're not going all out to do so because they don't see monetary value for it. One case study I can kind of plug this out is through how I work with my vendors. As you guys know, I also run a wedding brand called Heart to Heart. And what we do is we write to vendors that see whether they want to help us to kind of be part of this process. And after vendor had a chance to work with us, we open this kind of like a relationship. They kind of know us on the back end, and that invite them to work with us. Because if we don't do that, or if you don't do so, you might have an issue of them not able to trust you. And when we talk about business, it's really about trust. Trust is very, very important in this day and time. Especially now with COVID, everybody is really more sensitive to the partnerships and the relationship. So it's not just about clients. Your branding also affect how your vendors work with you in the long run. And I would say most of the business right now that you guys mostly work on word of mouth, which is like the strongest tool. And there are other tools that actually affects how business owners work. Like it's harder to get a stranger to work with you, right? When a person that already kind of built a brand with a certain relationship. Yeah. Oh, Imran, hi, hello, welcome to today's stream. We miss you. We miss you in the stream. We miss the engagement. I do miss like the back and forth that we have in other streams. So today having to host alone feels a little bit weird, a little bit empty. I just felt like it's kind of feel nice to have like people come in and say hi, just let me feel that comfortable again. I think uh, it feels weird like after like a whole series like a 6 months, then suddenly now I had to host on my own. It just felt weird, but I do appreciate all the comments that comes in. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so back to just now that point, making long lasting impression with a brand identity. So it's not just about how awesome your logo is. We all know our own logos are the best. That's all we all claim, right? Yeah, but it's really about establishing the concept that can be understood across the board. So when I say concept, it's like the feeling, the 感觉. If you're Chinese, it's called 感觉. It's the feeling that you are giving towards your vendors or your clients. And it's a feel good feeling actually. I mean, if it's a bad thing, then it'll be a feel bad feeling, but it's actually a feel good feeling that you give. So branding is not tangible stuff. Most of the branding thing are actually the image, how you present yourself, how you dressed up for meetings, how you dressed up when you are on site, how do you communicate? Yeah, are you very hard to work with? This actually affect your branding a lot. Yeah. Then of course there are more tangible stuff like your pricing, all these little things does affect your quality of work. Of course, everybody wants the best quality of work, right? So that is a measure of success. That's a measure of branding. And of course, the long lasting to me is still service. Service offline, online, just the moment people touch base with you, the first thing that they can think about you, that will describe ultimately what your branding is, your identity. Yeah, and if it comes out bad, then something must be done to be able to change that part. So it's really about long lasting. It's not about short term. Don't think about short term. Think branding as a long term battlefield. It's really to navigate. Like you can't start a brand with everything in place. There's no way you can create a branding effect with everything in place. You have to work for a few years, continue. Like even for my own brand, Heart to Heart, it's still not perfect yet. I still feel like there's a lot of like gaps that I need to fill to make the whole service experience much thorough, and that's where you can command higher pricing. You can't just go jump your price, double it, and expect things to change. Your customers wouldn't understand the jump. You have to create this experience as a train of thought where they feel like you deserve an X amount of money, and that amount of money comes from service, how you service them, how you work with them, your quality of work, all the things that I mentioned. These things add together. And tell me how you feel about this point, because this is how I feel about my own experience. I'm plugging my own experience, and you feel that it makes sense, or I feel like maybe I might not be very accurate on my branding identity. Do let me know in the comments below. I do want to have this conversation, because since we don't have a co-host today, it'll be good to kind of have you guys to speak up on the comments to let me know how you feel about the pointers that I have mentioned. Okay, so that is point number one. While you guys think about things that you can counter with me, I will definitely want to hear from you. Second point is to make your content shareable. Why I say that, it feel like a blanket statement, right? Like, well, what exactly am I trying to say? You have to think it through. And what I mean by think it through is, you could have a lot of content marketing stuff that could identify you, like to create identity for your brand, which is true. But you need to make it shareable so that your brand might sound like legit. Sometimes when you buy some things that you feel like, oh, these things looks legit, you always tell your friend like, hey, these things looks legit. This looks so like trustworthy, right? Yeah. So you should make your content more easy to digest in that sense. So is to make people reflect their own business. That means whatever that I told today, like brand identity, right? You need to be able to reflect on your business, and if it makes sense, then that's where your identity, you make yourself sound more believable in that sense. So when I say shareable, it's more of like, whatever Yan Chong is sharing is like makes sense. So that can correlate to shareability. Like you want to use this to share to people because it makes sense. That's why it's very important to not only figure out the type of content your audience will want to find useful enough to share, but also make sure that it's valuable and credible. So fact check your stuff. If your things is not really things that need to be like fact check, like medical stuff, wellness policies, you have to make sure that you did your due diligence to figure things out, to be able to share it and make it bite-sized, make it more understandable, as to compare to them finding from Google and stuff. And that makes your content shareable. Why I go to shareability is because we are in a social media platform, and if you don't make it shareable, then who will want to spread your message for you? Because the best way to make sure that your content is legit is to have a lot of people share. A lot of people find that it's legit enough to share, and this will make your content more considered one tier higher than the normal content. Yeah, because you need to make people feel that kind of emotion. Like, okay, sharing, liking, comment, and subscribing, right? Is a emotional decision. If you notice, it's not a objective decision. It's not like I tell you 1 is 1, 2 is 2. It's not like, okay, even though I mentioned something, then yes, it is something that you can consider applying it. Like I can say, oh, give me a like, or give me a comment. But if I give you a legit emotional response, like I cannot give you like, hey, give you the right energy and the right kind of mood, then you will feel like the like and the comment, it comes from within you. Yeah, it's not like I'm holding at gunpoint and say like, oh, you had to give me the like, you had to give me the comment. But it's more of like you feel that it's important, you feel that you want to do that, so that drives the emotional factor. Yeah, so it's a little bit complex on how I feel that I want to define that, but I really hope that you understand where this angle is coming from. Yeah, so you have to come from where your expertise are. So the more you can contribute in that department, the more people will want to swing to you, because the more you do it consistently. So just like this live stream thing, I'm trying to commit my time to be able to translate into valuable information where I already know that I'm trying to pass to you guys, where you can listen and be able to understand, and that translate into something that is consistent and something that you can share. Yeah, if I don't make it shareable, then it's just you just listen and you digest. There's no way for you to be able to build that up. So what we want to do is to make it shareable, because if you have that shareable element inside, that makes your content much more relatable to the people that you're trying to share. But provided you already find out your target audience lah. So that is one thing we didn't know. Yeah. So since we are playing in the social media field, you need to take advantage of this shareability. Yeah. Unlike when you're doing offline, you can't do that because there's no shareability per se. But now we are playing in the social media online playing field. You can tap on such skill set. Like that means that Facebook already give you that kind of share button, give you a like, give you this community that you can build with. So you are merging your normal online into your online like digital presence. Yeah, that will build your awareness of how you can bring value to people. Yeah, so once you able to build that, then you create this illusion. Again, I like to use the word illusion because I think it's relatable in that sense. Yeah. And the third one, let's see. The third one is to build your reputation, become an authority. This is very handy to me right now. I feel that I benefit the most. Yeah, building reputation online is like the thing to do right now, where everybody claims they are the guru. They have all the solutions. They have the quick be able to get like 10,000 followers in like 5 weeks, build a personal identity. But I feel that it's more of like a marathon. It's not for you to race from like this year to next year, that kind of thing. There's no end goal to it. I think the beauty of branding is an ever growing ecosystem where you are building for your own company. Yeah, you are only fighting against yourself and maybe your competition. Yeah, but you should spend more time figuring out what people perceive you rather than you trying to imitate other competition. Yeah, so I think this is the right, for me, this is the right definition of it. I've been focusing more on branding and stuff since the early of this year, to differentiate between me as a videographer versus me as a video marketing specialist. I think the way I pivoted was I'm not just a videographer, because if you're gonna place yourself as a videographer, you're competing with like a lot of talented, they call it cinematographer. So in that sense, you can't compete because it's a huge generic thing. So when people ask me, "Hey, you are a videographer?" I was like, "No, I'm actually a video marketing specialist," because I want to let people know that I have two elements in my skill set. It's not just a video, but I do strategy with my clients, and that niche, that drill into that niche created that little reputation of how people perceive me online. And talking about reputation and building authority, comes story time. So music. Yeah. So this story time is where I come in as earlier this year. I'm just gonna kind of flashback a little bit. Earlier this year, I'm trying to build a brand for Heart to Heart, like because it's a brand new wedding videography brand. It's a small chunk of my corporate brand into Heart to Heart. So when we are doing that, right, of course we have to get the generic branding identity stuff out, which means you need to have your logo, your website, everything must be aligned. Like you already have to build a separate thing. Then how you want to let people perceive you is through your Instagram page, your Facebook page. You have to create a whole new path, like even your funnels, how you communicate with your couples, all these had to change. And I think what makes Heart to Heart so much different is we emphasize on our personality. That means because Heart to Heart is two people, that means me and my partner. We wanted to create we want to put ourselves out there. So we created this personal branding thing to put ourselves out there and to work with other vendors, like what I mentioned. You work with other vendors, you build their rapport, you build their authority figure. And throughout that, we also share tips and tricks to our clients, to our vendors. We actually share like weekly updates with our couples on things that they should take note of regarding their wedding planning journey. So the moment they touch base with us, we greet them with a voice message or a video message to kind of show them that, hey, congratulate them on their big day. We're very excited to serve them, and that's before they sign us. So I think keynote is you shouldn't just serve after they sign with you, but you should serve them since the moment where they touch base with you, because that's where the first touch point, that's where the first impression of a brand identity comes in. And if you comes in with like just a message, you are unable to differentiate yourself between you and the competition. So we want to create this distinct branding as to compare to a normal person that reply. So we were just looking through what are the touch points. So maybe the first thing is our website. So how they perceive us through our website. Is your website seamless? Is it frustrating to navigate from pages to pages? Is our Instagram very hard to navigate? Is our colors that we use on Instagram, does it reflect certain things? Yeah, there's a lot of those small elements that we need to make sure that it's as smooth as possible. So when they really see us, like when they officially touch base with us, they will have a good feeling about getting us. Because once you have that kind of sour taste on your mouth and feel like, maybe so frustrating to kind of get contact with them, and that's where they drop. I do have couples that voice out and say that they actually drop their photographers because he or she just failed to reply in time. Like it may drag a whole week just to get one reply from them, and that gives a very bad impression of how you deliver stuff. So it's not okay. You notice that 90% of the time it's not about your quality of work. It could be main thing is to get them signed, right? And when your work is not even done, all these things matter, like how you deliver, how you speak to the people, how you bring the value to them without bringing the real thing. That's a huge difference. And why I like to highlight Heart to Heart is because Heart to Heart is something that we built from scratch, like literally from an idea to now fulfilled to be a wedding videography brand. We work with countless brands, and we really enjoy the process of doing it lah. So recently we even create sort of like a flow that we can serve our brides and our grooms when they come to us. We even kind of get feedbacks from our couples where or ask them like how they feel when they before they get into our service, how they connect with us, like was it very difficult and what are the pros and cons of them getting to us. Like we want to find out exactly how the opposite end of the spectrum. You cannot just assume that your platform works. You would think that just do this, then they can find us. But sometimes you'll be interested to see how your customers actually find your brand feels like going through the process. Was it very hard to navigate? And all these things really does affect one brand. But a few main things that I think this is one of the most important thing that I want to highlight in today's stream are a few things. After this story time that I managed to share, first thing is about honesty. It's about integrity. You need to be honest when you are sharing information, like useful information. It has to come at the right place. Yeah, because that really builds up the reputation of whether you are trustworthy or not. So don't offer or promise anything if you cannot deliver. This is one of the key things that I feel that a lot of people when online right now, they can promise like rainbows and unicorns, but a lot just can't deliver what they think that they can deliver. Sometimes your expectation is so high. Is it all past my camera? Sometimes your expectation is so high, but then when you deliver it's about this level. So sometimes you never set your expectation with your customers. This is where things get ugly. There's a lot of things that can't be trusted. Dishonesty will reflect very badly. And correct me if it's not important. I'm just saying that you will feel that actually most of the time you are working with other vendors, other partnerships, and these partnerships actually make your company healthier in that sense, not just financially but as a whole. And a group of vendors that I work with through this whole year with Heart to Heart. Yeah, I think this is something that I learned like the max. If you agree with me, give me a like. If you're watching a rewatch and you feel that this is a cool point, just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I think that to me hits the most. Yeah, in terms of honesty. And to the next point is to become an authority. In order to build a good reputation, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to do your fact check. You need to make sure that you know the industry well enough to harvest trust, encourage people to kind of be loyal to the way that you do things. because that all leads to honesty and to be able to build the rapport. This is more towards brand identity for your vendors to how they see you. But I guess it also applies across the board, like how clients see you. Like you really need to have that integrity and stuff, and the trust between partners is very important. And one last thing is consistency, which a lot of people don't have right now. I feel that I would say again it's the 80-20 rule. Correct me if I'm wrong again, because I'm really plucking from my own experience. The consistency of people, I call it like the goldfish syndrome, where like the next big thing comes in, you just want to be part of it. So it's like a FOMO thing. You just go all over the place. You just try. Then you're not consistent. So maybe you think that you want to do like online webinar. Then suddenly you try. Then you just like cause not enough people watching. Then you just drop out. Then you IG live. Then you just jump to IG live. Then after not enough traction. Then you get stuck again. Yeah. So what I want to say is really it's very important that you be consistent with your brand, how you deliver your stuff, how you not just for your clients, but sometimes how you operate your stuff. You have to be consistent. You have to be able to let people identify you. That means you do long enough for people to identify you. Like I do live stream long enough to have an impression of an identity of me doing live stream. I don't just do twice or do thrice, then just say, oh, okay, then you just call it a day. You won't have that impression. In fact, this morning I have a business meeting with two of the BBSG Business Network group, and two of them, Nas and Ita. If you are watching this in a rerun, you will mention that hey, you are like the live stream guy already. You become the podcast guy. I'm not sure whether I'm the podcast guy, but if you listen to my podcast, then yeah, welcome to the to my podcast stream. This is sort of like a podcast also. If you want to, it's more visual, but it does have a podcast element to it. If you create that consistency, you are able to differentiate yourself. That means I become more of like a live stream guy, because I'm doing like this live stream all the time. I was able to introduce podcasts also. So I become like a podcast guy, a tech guy. I think I have a lot of like quote unquote. I'm not sure what name do you give me. If you are watching a rerun, if you are watching right now, do you have a nickname for me? Am I a something guy? I want to find out exactly how people feel about what is my superpower. I would say what's my superpower. Yeah. So being consistent, make sure that you are constantly, then avoid being annoying is another point. I don't know whether I should say this, but I would say that being consistent is good, but being spammy is another thing. It's like a thin line, between you offending people and a thin line for people feel that you are bringing value on the table. So as an introvert, I'm very selective of how I send my message out. That means like communicate in the community. People that know me feel that actually I talk more through this setting, and I talk more when I am having a direct message. That means if I'm talking to Imran, if I'm talking to Renee, if I'm talking to Eugene, these are the people that if you are plucking out of context, that means just like have a personal relationship, I can bring more value in that sense. So that's why I like personal coaching a lot, because I feel that when you tear down the wall, like you just having one-on-one, I can really understand and really have very meaningful conversation with you. Because in a whole group, it's just very hard to kind of have that synergy. Yeah, so back to the point, I think I sidetracked a little bit too much. It's to be consistent, like be able to bring the value on the table consistently, and to build the image of you being able to deliver, because it's so important that right now your identity in order to build an identity, you need at least 6 months. I would say a good healthy amount is 6 months to build that trust. You might be surprised, like maybe this person that already know you for 5 months might not even talk to you until the 6th month. Maybe they start to have a WhatsApp chat, or maybe they create a Facebook chat. That you only can see after you build enough reputation, be it with your vendors or with the people that you have passed your name card to. Because you notice that now branding is not name cards anymore. It's not just website anymore. It doesn't mean anything. You can just do a website within 5 minutes online, and that's about it. That worth this is worth how much? This is worth $0. To me, it's really meaningless if you don't translate it into some your personality, where people can see you in action. Of course, if you can show them what you can do, you can show them what you can do in action, or you can like provide value in that sense, meet your customers halfway just to deliver something that brings value your brand identity by a lot. So today you see like there's a lot of things that I mentioned. It's really not about your work. I don't care about what kind of things that you deliver, but you just make sure that through that process, be it the funnel, the service, the impression, you have to make sure that you are very sure what you are delivering and what kind of vibe you are trying to give. Yeah, if you are like the emo kind, you want to translate into more hype up your website. All these have to translate also. It doesn't be like we call it the company persona and the founder's persona. And sometimes when you do this research between company persona and individual persona, right, you might feel that actually sometimes the founder is affecting the company's branding in that sense. And if you feel, if you never done this exercise before, I think I would strongly suggest you try to do this measurement, because you'll be surprised that sometimes as an introvert, when you have an extrovert brand, you might struggle a little bit because people just cannot will be confused why your brand is like that when the founder is so keep to themselves. So I have to make sure that whenever you are trying to portray that, it's not just about your company website and your company name cards. Okay, so I just want to kind of go, if you feel that is whatever I'm saying right now is true, if you're watching the rewatch and you feel that it's true, just give me a like, give me a comment, give me a reaction. These are all based on my personal thought. Yeah, it's not like I scripted this whole thing. I just script because I need to know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but this is what I feel about it. So I want to go a little bit more to the conclusion part. Today is slightly shorter. It was partly also because I didn't have a chance to really write about it. I just went through a short brainstorm session, and I was trying to see what are the things that I could kind of pluck things from lah. And this conclusion to me summarized the whole thing. So I wrote it down. I kind of typed it out. Successful building a strong brand online doesn't happen overnight. I think this quote I managed to find out. Then I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. Which I totally agree to it. Yeah, because when you are building a brand, it takes a long time. Like even right now, I'm still not very confident with like what YC videos is about. Like that's why I split the heart to heart and the YC videos so much. Like people know that some people know me from the corporate side, some people know me from the wedding side. But I want to make sure that these two brands are separated. So even contracts and the delivery and how we meet our clients is very drastically different from a wedding side and a corporate perspective. Yeah, so it takes a lot of trial and error. It always will take trial and error. Like if you are a business owner, you are the first time doing business or solopreneur, you will definitely have mistakes. And our branding cannot be like a one-time formula. Like today what I shared might not be like 100% like applicable for you, but it's definitely something that you can try to do. Yeah. And your brand should be unique, easy to understand, and memorable. Of course, it's very easy to say that in that sense, but when I say memorable, it's like you really go all out. That means you give like 120% every time you deliver. Of course, you don't do the point where you are losing money lah. Just saying that you do slightly more than what you have promised. That will definitely give a sweet taste in your customer's mouth. I'm pretty sure that you'll receive something like you actually wrote something to your customers like, this is something that we do on the house, or this is complimentary. And I'm pretty sure your customers at that moment in time is like, wow, shiok, like free stuff, or like, wow, free consultation. They will feel like, wow, they are being served as like a king. And that's what we all want for our clients, to make me feel like, wow, going through this experience with Imran, is so enjoyable. I don't mind paying the X amount of money just to kind of be part of this process. I mean, why not, right? I mean, if you find someone that they can serve you well, then no need to take so much time to find another vendor that is delivering the same thing. You must just stick with the customers that, or the vendors that already you are very comfortable working with, right? So that is something that you should keep in mind. Like you are retaining them for the long term. You're not building just like an ad hoc. Unless your shelf life for your service or your product is like very long lived lah, like can last like 30, 40 years, that kind. Yeah, then maybe your approach is something different. But if you are building a relationship, yeah, I should see this as a long-term thing to build with your customers. Yeah. Then the next line is creating a strong brand not only helps you achieve your company goals, also increase your revenue for your business. I think this is a very well said line, and the value is not monetary. Like, to me, the branding value is much higher than the monetary value that it gives you. It gives you longevity for your business. It doesn't like write off as a check, or like there's a deadline. There's no deadline to it. The moment your branding dies is when you stop trying. The moment your branding dies is when you stop serving. So to me, the branding is ever growing if you try to improve it. Every day just improve like 1% of it. Just improve maybe just a small area of it, maybe just a service, or maybe how you deliver stuff, instead of using a very complex free software, or like a free thing that you do. Why not do something that is a paid subscribe, but the experience for your customers is like 10 times better? Like maybe watching a draft video, don't have to go through like email, they have to open, then it's so rugged. Maybe there's a platform where you can host draft videos for them to comment, then they can write comments on the video, they can highlight certain things, that makes the experience better. So sometimes paid service might improve your branding overall, and that also commands higher revenue for your company, because it's a whole thing. So some of the things in Chinese is 有些东西不可以省的, you just can't save stuff that is supposed to be spent. So just make sure that you spend some time to see like the whole ecosystem when you're delivering something. Is it something that you as a customer would want to experience it, or is it something that you want to improve on? Tell people to go through your funnel and see exactly what you should improve on your branding. There are so many elements in the branding ecosystem. You can't just change everything overnight. So you have to tell people to experience you serving them first, and then let them tell you exactly what you should improve on. I think that is the perfect way to summarize tonight's episode. Yeah, because I feel that today's episode seems a little bit shorter than the usual 1 hour, partly also because I don't have my co-host. But I would say that I wanted to bring my own experience and my case study on the table to share exactly what I feel this building of brand is about. Because there's a lot of misconception, and it's always like, just improve it's always the standard stuff. Build brand by creating just one video can already. That's usually what my clients tell me. I thought branding is just creating a video, then like, we can just translate our brand. But that's not the case. Branding comes in a lots of form. Like, you don't have to do a branding video to brand yourself. There's other ways that you can brand yourself, and it doesn't have to be a one-time thing. It's supposed to be a consistent effort. Your brand is a ever evolving ecosystem. You are not there to just like do one and for the next 30 years it's going to be like that. You're going to change. You change, your company will change also. So whoever that you're serving, make sure that your brand is aligned. Yeah. So Imran also agree, trusted partners and collaborators, as I said. These are the people that you should make friends for life, I feel. They are like the most like they are like the MVP of your company. They might not be direct investors, but they are definitely there to inspire you sometimes, to like, everybody as an entrepreneur are working towards a goal to become sustainable, to really enjoy this process. So having these vendors really helps a lot. Yeah. True, bro. True. Trust and brand have to build slowly. Rome doesn't build to overnight one. So it takes more than that. So if you feel that I have missed out anything, do let me know in the comments below. If you feel that certain points is important, do highlight when you're watching the rerun. I believe most of the people are gonna watch the rerun, because this is quite it's actually a very dense topic. Like, if I was managed to squeeze it into 3, because I promised 3 ways, right? So these are the main 3 ways. I don't want to give you like the checklist of like 20 things you need to build for your. I think that's just too much lah. Like, I want to give you these 3 ways so that you can immediately apply in your business. Then there is no BS to it. Like what I mentioned, there's no BS in this whole process. You can just apply straight away. Like right now, these 3 ways, right? You can just literally apply for your business. And let me have a quick recap. So the first one is to make long-lasting impression with your brand identity that will make sure that you give an image of your brand along the way, and that impression is very important. If you don't have the right impression, it's very hard for other people to trust you as a brand. So just to make sure that you understand, make sure you uh share your spirit of the company, improve your logo, not just logo, but to make sure that people understand why you're doing this, like understand why you even operate this business in the first place. They need to feel that passion. Yeah, it's not just open for the sake of opening. If you're gonna do that, then I think you might have to change your branding a little bit. Yeah. The next one is to make your content shareable. This is really for the social aspect. Like when you are creating content, like maybe a checklist or something, you have to make sure that it's easier to share, because all these people that share for you, they are like your spokesperson. If you share yourself, it just feel like you are blowing a trumpet for yourself lah. But if you make your content shareable, it gives people a chance to first share your content. Second is that means you are very sure that this actually helps them because it's shareable. If there's an instinct for people to share this stream right now, like if they feel that it's gonna help, and if you let me take this out, if you feel like today's episode helps, do share this stream right now to really help people. So if this proves my point of being shareable, then that also means that your brand identity increase, because that gives the illusion that it works. That means whatever that I shared makes sense and it can help people's business. So do me a favor, if you feel that is worth it to share to your friends, please do press a share, copy the link, paste it on your wall. That really helps a lot for this show. Okay, the last point is to build your reputation and become an authority. I think I'm the live example for this. I've been doing it for 6 months, going 7, and week in, week out, I've been doing this, I've been helping. So when you do this, right, you give an impression of Yan Chong really know how to do video marketing. And I really do, because when I translate into education, I felt that I learn a lot more. I learn a lot faster. Yeah, so that helps a lot when I'm doing live stream. It forces me to really get the most updated news on whichever topic that I'm trying to go through, which is what I go through with my clients all the time. Yeah, so make sure that you build your reputation by creating, just be helpful. Just go there and help people, share your knowledge, and that will command authority. And being an authority gives you more leverage to influence people. If you have things to sell or whatever, that makes you more trustworthy. You build that trust, that relationship, like I always do. Make sure that you create this synergy between you and your viewers, so that they will feel more encouraged to be part of this process. Yeah, so if I miss out anything, do let me know in the comments below. Next week will be we will officially officially invite Damien from Business Network Group. He is the true branding master, so he will literally share everything. Tonight is just my point of view. If you feel like I missed out some points, do let me know. I really want to learn also. It's a learning process for everyone. And he will share his own point, like his own 3 points on creating our brand identity. So both are live streams. Usually we do one live and one encore, right? But next week is another live. It's gonna have like lots more conversation, because it's gonna me hosting and him co-hosting. So I really hope you guys could spend another hour with us next week, Friday, 8:30 to 9:30. Today we ended a little bit early class, so you guys gain another 15 minutes to write down these notes. So it's always every week, Friday, 8:30 to 9:30 is giving this value, and we are looking for more speakers. In run, I'm trying to find you to come back. I would love for you to kind of give 3 topics. If you are here right now, maybe give us 2 topics for us to choose, possibly for future episodes, so that we know and both of us could ask our followers what they would want to learn. And if you want to learn more things about video marketing or marketing, do let us know exactly what we should cover, because that builds future episodes, and that also builds future topics for the podcast. And Imran has been telling me that he's on for it, so maybe everyone can type down in the comments below and let us vote. You can still vote after this stream is finished because you'll be posted forever on my wall. Yeah. Yeah, so this marks the end of the episode. Yeah, I don't think I missed out anything. And if you like this episode, again, reaction is important. Okay, give me a comment. Just let me know that you are watching on the rewatch. I'll say hi again and bye. And see you next week. Cue the outro. Yep. So this marks the end of the episode. See you guys. Bye.